want to take a moment and talk about what's taking place at Lake City Ammo Plant, because it's really, I could ride a bicycle there from my house. It's that close. Well, it'd be a long bike ride, but I could still, it's that close. And what we've seen, and I said this, I said it months ago, that they were going to stop commercial production and that they have stopped taking contracts. And a lot of people said, no, they're still making commercial production of ammo in 5.56 and 9mm, but they're not taking new contracts. And we've been talking about this for a long time, but I've been warning you about it for months. And now what we're seeing is attorney generals from 20 different states have essentially messaged the White House and said, stop making civilian ammo. Now, I'm not going to talk about that letter. I'm going to put the link to the letter right here if you want to read it. But ultimately, you know, you have almost 50% of the states demanding that commercial production of 5.56 and 9mm cease to exist at all. Now, again, they're already not doing contracts, so this is probably a null and void thing. I think it's a done deal. I've been saying that for months, that here in the next few months, you're not going to see any civilian 5.56 ammo coming out of Lake City Ammo anymore. And especially, you know, once that happens, then 9mm is just going to follow. Now, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't believe I am. I do not believe I am because, again, a few months ago, I had inside sources that said they were not taking any new contracts from multiple sources inside Lake City Ammo, that commercial contracts were not being renewed, so to say, and they weren't taking any new ones. They're not redoing the old ones. But they still have some contracts to get out. They still have to produce, you know, the things that they agreed to. And I believe it's going to come to an end. And now what we have is we have 20 attorney generals from 20 different states, you know, essentially saying like, hey, stop. And so, you know, this is what's going to follow. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I just want to make you aware of this. You know, I'll put the link to the letter below. I don't really want to get into it. It's just a bunch of nonsense about how we should not have military ammo, that only they should have military ammo, and blah, 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 blah. So, but there you go. 20 states, attorney generals, written the White House. Just to follow up on what we've already seen taking place at Lake City Ammo Plant. And it's a matter of time before the doors to the civilian bay of the ammo manufacturing just close forever. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but I said it a few months ago and it's just continuing to play out the way that I thought it would. So any thoughts or insight on this, especially that insight you have, definitely put that below and check out the letter. It's worth checking out. It's not worth talking about, but it's worth checking out. At least you kind of get an idea of where their heads are. If you want to, that link is below. I want to take a moment and thank our sponsor, of course, and that's Jace Medical. Not only for sponsoring this channel, but for really providing what I believe to be one of the best preps anybody can make, which is having an emergency supply of all sorts of antibiotics and a 1-year supply of your chronic meds. Like if you have a heart condition, if you're taking meds on a daily basis and things go out, you're going to need meds. You know, there's certain meds that I need to take every day. So now I have a year's supply, and they're not substituting, you know, because I still get my prescription from my doctor. They're just sitting there. In case of emergency, I have a year's supply, my wife as well. So I highly recommend check out Jace if you, as well as there's a lot of other things they're offering today that were somewhat controversial during COVID. Would like to take a moment and say most people watch this channel, they're not subscribers to the channel. Please take a moment, hit that subscribe button. It greatly increases the algorithm and our ability to get these messages out. That link is below. But the most important part of this channel, we take prayer requests. Never hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns.